Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Great, and yourself?
Fabulous.
Good.
Super excited for my guest today. Justin Lee is the young man's name, and I can't talk for some reason. And the book is called Talking Across the Divide. So I'm struggling talking even just right here. But it's about talking to people who maybe you disagree with. So if you struggle talking to people that you disagree with, be sure to listen, because it's called Talking Across the Divide, How to Communicate with People You Disagree With and Maybe Even Change the World. So we're going to change the world today. Got a quote for you, too, from Helen Keller. It says, "The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart." I love that. What a great quote. What a great day it's going to be. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
Make plans to join us for the second annual 80s in the Sand. My wife Heidi and I went last year. It was so much fun. And guess who's going to be there this year? It's Brett and Michaels.
Hello, everybody. It's Brett Michaels. I will see you at 80s in the Sand, Tuesday, November 6th, Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. I promise you, this is going to be the ultimate concert, party, best night ever. Let's rock on, my friends.
Get your tickets now at 80sinthesand.com. Over 90% of the tickets are sold. Don't wait. 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, the 22nd day of August. It is National Bao Day. B-A-O. What is that?
I have no idea what Bayo is.
Well, they need the day to do it. I'll have to look and see. It's also National Never Been Better Day for beans. Never been better. Get it? B-E-A-N. Never been. We'll move on. National Tooth Fairy Day today, and National Pecan Tort Day. So I say the word differently than you do. How do you say it?
Pecan.
And I say pecan.
Pecan. You
Pecan.
put too much emphasis on the E. Pecan.
Pecan. And you say pecan. Either way, how do you say tort?
Tort.
Okay, we say that. Let's agree on that. National Pecan Tort Day today. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can either add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. Or a combination of both, but there's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow sales. And you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Sign up at betterresultsadvertising.com. That's betterresultsadvertising.com.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs, but first, I've got a new game for Heidi. It's called Rehab or Golf Course.
Oh, fun.
So you got to tell me if the place that I'm talking about is a golf course or a rehab place.
Okay.
All right. And it's funny how crazy they sound the same. Emerald Valley in Crewell, Oregon. Emerald Valley. Rehab or golf course?
Golf course.
It is a golf course. How about The Hills in Los Angeles, California?
Rehab.
It is a rehab. And we'll do one more. How about this one? Sugar Hill, Georgia. Is it a golf course or is it rehab?
Golf course.
It is. Man, you're good at this stuff. Heidi didn't even cheat because I have everything covered up. Didn't even know we were going to do this one.
I
so
didn't.
She
I like this one.
Couldn't have studied ahead. So, little addition of a new thing. We're probably not going to do it a lot, but we'll play it once in a while, called Golf Course or Rehab. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, there are many parties, weddings, cookouts, and other events that often include alcohol. If you're drinking, be sure to have a designated driver. If you or someone you know has a problem with drugs or alcohol, there is help. The Addiction Hope and Helpline wants to help. If you feel like it's time to finally get the help you need, there's a toll-free number you can call, 1-800-438-0380. That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline, 1-800-438-0380, 1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. Authorities say 2 teens have been arrested after robbing a Georgia home twice in one day. This happened in Cherokee.
They must have forgotten something the first time.
Well, or they thought, hey, we could go back for more. Cherokee County Sheriff's Office had a release that went to the Journal-Constitution in Atlanta. And there they talked about 18-year-old Gerald Bankston and 16-year-old, who is not mentioned because that person's underage,
Right.
were taken into custody on charges including burglary and possession of drug-related objects. They have not released the identity of the 16-year-old. The teens robbed a Woodstock home early in the day, and then they were spotted trying to re-rob the same home. The release says they ran when deputies arrived but were later arrested. They recovered a backpack believed to have been taken from the home, and it had 2 knives and a bunch of drug-related objects in it, and
Wow.
some marijuana. So
There you go.
Bad
Good
idea.
choices, kids.
No, bad choices. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Lindsay Lohan issued an apology for the remarks that she made in which she criticized the accusers of the Me Too movement. So, yeah, you don't want to criticize that. That's
I
bad.
read that, and I actually,
You don't think it was, what did she say? I guess I didn't read it, so.
she wasn't criticizing. She was saying, if it was an issue, you should have said something at the time. You don't wait 30 years and
Okay.
then say, hey, this person did this to me 30 years ago. Because now you're slandering someone and there's no proof.
Okay.
And
I see
so
what you're saying.
really what she was saying is,
If there's a
you
problem, do it right away.
Yeah.
Say-
you don't
say
wait
something.
30 years until after
you know
they've
the f-
made you famous.
You know the old
and then once
saying,
you've
though,
reaped all the benefits off of what they could give you, then you say something. It's
if
just
you see something, say something eventually.
eventually.
Oh, that's not how it goes.
Someday, maybe.
Hey, Netflix just canceled the show The Break. Michelle Wolf had a talk show. Did you know this? I didn't even know they had this.
oh yeah.
Did you? I didn't even know she had a talk
Uh-huh.
show. So she
It
had a
didn't
talk
last
show.
long.
No, they broke up with The Break. It's done already. So there we go. This is going to do it for today's big screen, little screen on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
John and Heidi.
Now, your scoop of the day. The Associated Press revealed that Google continues to record your location data even after you change the privacy setting on your phone. So, can you imagine how Google has to know? I'm like the most boring person in the world. They're like, oh, John's in the
He's
studio.
still at his desk.
Now he's in the kitchen.
Now he's back at his desk.
In the bathroom. He's in there a long time. Now he's back in the studio. It's pretty much my life. So
I don't
Google, have
like
at it.
Google.
Well, I do. I use all of their stuff. So if they're following me around, that's whatever. You're not going to find anything. Wall Street Journal reporting that a growing number of Uber drivers are taking passengers on, quote, the long way in order to drive up their fare. So they're saying that, if there's a short way and a long way, they're like, I'm going to show you the scenic route and increase. Taxis have been doing that for years.
Oh, yeah.
So, and if you're a taxi driver, I'm not saying that in a negative way. I mean, you show me the sights. When I'm from out of town, you're like, oh, hey, thought you might want to see
that's not
this.
a good thing. That's not what you want.
Thought you might
want
wanna check
get
this
to where
out.
you're going. It's wrong.
Here's my mother-in-law's house. What are we doing in New Jersey? How'd we end up here? A survey by Value Penguin found that the poor... Hang on a second. What? I'm not going to just read that and pretend like we all think that's something. What is that? Have you ever heard of that?
I have not.
I've never heard of Value Penguin. So
Okay. What is it saying?
Let's
though?
read the rest of it now that we're beyond that. A survey by Value Penguin found that the poorest Americans increased their credit card debt by 26% in the last year. Yes, we did. Value Penguin. I have to see what the heck Value Penguin is. It sounds interesting, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
A computer study by MIT that started back in 1973, by the way, predicted that the world will end in 2040. The computer says that the combination of pollution and rising population will cause a global collapse. So this computer has been crunching the numbers since 1973. I hope they've upgraded the computer along the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, we had a computer that was 12 years old that crashed like a week ago.
Oh, my gosh.
And everybody was laughing at me because my computer was 12 years old. This thing from 1973, it would be like 44 years old. So hopefully they've upgraded the computer. Otherwise, maybe that's not so accurate. Just
It's
throwing
not
that out
accurate.
there. A group of burglars broke into John Mayer's Los Angeles home and they stole $200,000 worth of property. You know how different that story would be if a group of burglars had broken into John Small's home? That's me. The residents of John and Heidi, burglars left more merchandise than they took. We had nothing.
They felt so bad
What
for
do you
them.
take? They're like, wow,
They
these
left.
guys, I've never seen so much ramen in one cupboard. And there's actually a story here about ramen noodles. I'm gonna scroll to that now because if I don't, it just wouldn't fit to like skip it. But there was a ramen noodle robbery. There's a thief who stole $98,000 worth of ramen noodles.
That is a lot
$98,000
of ramen
That
noodles.
is. I mean, somewhere in here they'd like crunch the numbers on how many ramen noodles that is. It's a lot of ramen noodles. Let's just put it this way. $98,000 worth of ramen noodles will last you the rest of your life. $98 will last you the rest of this year. So
98 cents worth of ramen noodles would last me the rest of my life.
I
don't
ramen
like
noodles.
them.
I think they're good. This has been your Scoop of the Day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can either add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. Or a combination of both, but there's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow sales. And you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Sign up at BetterResultsAdvertising.com. That's BetterResultsAdvertising.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We got a special guest joining us today. Justin Lee has a new book called Talking Across the Divide, How to Communicate with People You Disagree With and Maybe Even Change the World. How cool would that be to change the world, Justin Lee? That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Well, I think so. And I think that the way that we do it is by fighting this polarization that's taken over the country and actually learning once again how to have the conversations, sometimes difficult conversations on the issues we care about with people around us, including sometimes people in our own family that we struggle to talk to about these issues.
Now, I think maybe it's just my perception, but you correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like we're more divided now, and I believe the culprit that divides us is social media. In the past, I might think something, but you don't know I necessarily think that nowadays. You know, I'll either like something that you disagree with or I'll share something you disagree with, and all of a sudden we have these real heated conversations between family members and friends. Do you think social media is helping to cause the divide, or at least to perpetuate the divide?
I think it is, and I think not just in the way that you said, but in some other ways as well. The sort of impersonal nature of text communication certainly is a factor, but also There was a book written a few years ago called The Filter Bubble that I talk about in my book, Talking Across the Divide, that basically pointed out that the social media websites, as well as other sites like Google, operate on these algorithms that are designed to show us what they think we want to see. And so when I get on Facebook, Facebook is showing me not all the posts from all of my friends, but the ones it thinks I want to see. And so let's say if I tend to lean right, and so I click on right-leaning articles, Facebook's going to show me more right-leaning articles. But if I lean left and I don't click right-leaning articles, Facebook will stop showing me right-leaning articles, which means that gradually that viewpoint is going to be erased from my Facebook view of the world. And so what happens is, without meaning to, we get into these echo chambers where we're hearing over and over again from the people who most agree with us, posting content that leans in the direction we already lean in, and we stop hearing from the other side. So when we do hear from the other side, they don't make any sense to us because we're not operating based on the same facts or the same worldview at all.
I think that happened big time in the 2016 election. And on this radio program, we try not to talk about politics because it is such a divisive thing. And I've personally taken that into social media as well. I try not to talk politics in social media because, again, I don't want to divide. I've got friends that are very conservative. I've got friends that are very liberal. And I have friends that are very not interested in politics. And during this last election, 2016 election, I wanted to unfriend myself because my page it was supposed to be a safe haven where we don't talk politics, but instead it became a place where everybody was fighting every single day. I could post anything. I could say the sky is blue and somebody would talk about why isn't the sky red, and it was ridiculous. Everything became political. Why in the world did that happen to our social media? They broke Facebook.
Yeah, it's a real problem. And, you can feel like, because I'm with you, like I get so sick of the politics all the time, and it's like, can't we just have conversations about other things? And yet I also recognize that there are important issues in the world, and there are issues that I care about, and some of them are political, and some of them are not political, but they're also controversial. I got my start in this kind of area 20 years ago, having conversations around LGBT issues in Christian spaces. Well, that's a controversial topic, religion and sexuality and, all kinds of stuff. And I found that as I talk to people on both sides of all kinds of controversial issues, that, many of us are frustrated with the rhetoric. We're frustrated with not being able to have a healthy conversation anymore. And we feel like our only option is either we yell at each other or we just avoid it altogether. And so how nice would it be if we could actually sit down together and talk about the things we agree with on and the things that we disagree on, and have those conversations happen in a respectful, gracious way, where we don't feel like we're losing friends or splitting families every time we disagree on something. And that's what I'm trying to accomplish with Talking Across the Divide.
And I love that you're going to change the world, and you're going to do it one conversation at a time. I love that. Again, the book is called Talking Across the Divide, How to Communicate with People You Disagree With and Maybe Even Change the World. If we were going to give everybody one little bit of advice on what they could do to maybe change their world today, is there one little thing, one little bit of advice that you might want to give them, Justin?
Sure. I mean, obviously there are lots of bits of advice in the book, but the one that I come back to over and over again, that if you could just do this one thing, it would change so much of the rhetoric in these conversations, is listen. And that's very counterintuitive, especially when you're upset about something and you feel like, well, the other side needs to be listening to you because they've talked too much. And maybe you're right, maybe they have. But if you can listen to somebody, especially in a one-on-one conversation away from social media, and really ask good questions and try to understand where they're coming from, as they talk, you start to understand what they believe, what facts they believe that maybe are not the same things that you believe, what's motivating them, what's important to them, what they've been through that affects, how they see this issue, whatever it is. And the more you understand them, the better chance you have of being able to help them see your point of view. And the more they feel heard, the more likely they are to then want to listen to you in return. And if we all learned to listen like that to each other more, that would that would by itself change the world.
I agree 100%. Justin, thank you for taking the time to chat, and thank you for putting your heart into making this book and making a hopefully a very positive change in the world.
Well, thank you so much. And if your listeners want to get connected with me, my website is geekyjustin.com, because I'm a big old geek. So
I love that you just own it. That's awesome. geekyjustin.com. That's
I
awesome.
Absolutely do.
Well, thank you again, sir.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Again, geekyjustin.com is the website. His name is Justin Lee, and the book is called Talking Across the Divide, How to Communicate with People You Disagree With and Maybe Even Change the World. It's available now, and we're going to make it really easy to find. We'll throw a link to this in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers, or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales, and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Frederick Bauer, he was the man who invented the iconic Pringles can. When he passed away, his ashes were put into a
I knew that.
Pringles can.
We've read that before.
I think that's really cool. I've never invented anything, but when I die, you can stuff me in whatever you want to stuff me in.
Okay.
It was jammed into a Folgers coffee can. I don't know, whatever. I think that's really cool, though. The guy invented the Pringles can, and he was buried in a Pringles can. That's just neat stuff. That is what I would refer to as a fun fact on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Make plans to join us for the second annual 80s in the Sand. My wife Heidi and I went last year. It was so much fun. And guess who's going to be there this year? It's Brett and Michaels.
Hello, everybody. It's Brett Michaels. I will see you at 80s in the Sand, Tuesday, November 6th, Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. I promise you, this is going to be the ultimate concert, party, best night ever. Let's rock on, my friends.
Get your tickets now at 80sinthesand.com. Over 90% of the tickets are sold. Don't wait. 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day, and it's dandyprat. What do you think dandyprat means, Heidi?
I have no clue.
What if I spell it? Would that help?
Not at all.
D-A-N-D-I-P-R-A-T. Dandyprat. Dandyprat is a noun. It's a 16th century English coin equal to about 2 pence. By the way, 2 pence is also something we don't know, so that didn't really help a lot, grandiloquent word people. A diminutive person or child. So a small person would also be a dandyprat. A person of small or childish mind, a silly, finicky, or puerile person. So there we go. And here's a sentence. You'll never be more than a mere dandyprat, I'm afraid. Yeah, okay.
Won't be using that.
Dandyprat.
That's a good way to get your butt kicked. Using any of these words
this would be a really nice way to like give somebody what they would think is a compliment when it's really not. You're like, wow, you're quite the dandyprat. Well, thank you very much. Then they look it up and they come and slug you in the face.
Yeah.
How's that for a dandyprat? Thanks for listening. This has been today's grandiloquent word.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now, some weird news for you. I've got more news on the ramen noodles. We talked about this a little bit ago. A cheap meal turned pricey when deputies say about almost $100,000 worth of ramen noodles were stolen in Georgia. They call the ramen noodle heist, they're calling it the ramen noodle heist. There we go. Deputies say a 53-foot trailer carrying the noodles was stolen sometime between the end of July and early August. It was stolen at a Chevron store on a Georgia highway on 85 North. Police say they're actively investigating the incident. The average ramen packet costs the consumers about 13 cents.
What would you do?
And they had almost $100,000 worth of ramen noodles. So if you want to crunch the numbers.
What would you do with all of those? What on earth are you going to do with them?
Well,
it's not like you're going to sell them on the black market.
They would. What are you going to get, like 12 cents?
Right, what are you going to do with
black
them?
market ramen noodles? By the way, it says you could eat 3 square meals per day for an entire year. And if you were spending 13 cents per meal with ramen noodles, it's only $142.65.
Oh my gosh.
So
not
there
worth
you go.
going to prison over
No,
at all.
because
What are they thinking?
$100,000 worth of ramen noodles. I mean, again, good luck to you. It's what I call some weird news.
John and Heidi.
Now, your moment of duh. A viral video that appeared to show a visitor at the Los Angeles Zoo hopping a fence and sneaking up from behind and spanking a hippopotamus on the tush prompted an investigation with the police. It sounds funny, but this is a dangerous deal, Heidi. This bizarre video was posted like a week ago. Shows an unidentified man approach 2 hippos, Rosie and Maria, or Mara, I guess is what that probably says. Rosie is 4 years old. That's the one that he spanked. The report says the hippo did not have any visible injuries, but an encounter like this could be stressful for the hippo. A zoo spokesperson says, we seriously feel this was an isolated incident. Most people know not to go in with the animals. It's common sense. By the way, hippos are the world's deadliest large land animal due to their aggressive nature and sharp teeth.
Holy cow! This
so you couldn't
guy
have picked
is
a worse.
So
no
lucky
kidding.
that they didn't.
They can weigh up to 3 tons, and they kill about 500 people every year in Africa.
Oh
so
my gosh.
don't mess with the hippos. Just saying. Or not. Was it a hippo or was it a rhino? Yeah, a hippo. So there we go. Don't mess with the hippo.
Man.
Hippopotamus can kill you. Bad idea. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you want to grow your business, you can add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers or a combination of both. There's no other way to grow your business. Just those two. Add more customers or sell more stuff to your current customers. And if you already have a relationship with your customers and you have their email address, you can reach out to them with special offers to easily grow your sales, and you'll make your customers even happier. Let the experts at Constant Contact help. Get a free trial now. Text Radio Trial to number 22828. That's Radio Trial, all one word, to number 22828.
John and Heidi.
Time now for fake news or Florida. Heidi's going to see if she can redeem herself for getting everything wrong yesterday.
What?
I was just checking to see if you're paying attention.
did not.
She got them all right. She has not gotten one wrong in a long time, which prompted the fake news or Florida investigation. And I had to double check to make sure she wasn't, somehow getting these answers leaked to her. But she's just really smart. Tell me, Heidi, fake news or Florida? A man hitched a ride on the back of a bus and hung on for 10 miles before fleeing. Fake news or Florida?
I'm going to say Florida.
That is a true story that happened in the great state of Florida. How about another one here? This one right here. Tell me if this is fake news or Florida. 2 Florida men wanted for purchasing external hard drives from Target stores and replacing their contents with Play-Doh and then returning them. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
That is a true story in Florida. I probably should have maybe edited that a little bit so I didn't have to read it word for word. Is that what gives it away? Because I'm so
Your
unprepared
amazing reading skills.
and I have no idea what the heck I'm saying. Well, these guys, by the way, their value of their theft was over $6,000.
Holy cow.
Yeah, they've done this for a while. They got caught finally. They were the Play-Doh thieves. So bad plan, but I don't know. Sounds like they had a plan. It just wasn't a good one. Don't do that kind of stuff. But I do have a link to the story if you want to read all about it. It's in our show notes at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of Odiva. That is the monthly subscription service just for the ladies. All of the details at radiosavings.com. Okay, take a listen to this headline. When wedding caterer backs out at the last second, a restaurant saves the day in just 90 minutes.
How nice is
How terrible
that?
would it be, by the way, to have somebody just drop the ball on you at the last second if you were planning on them doing their part to make this event happen?
When you've got an event coming up
And then
you're
they just
expecting
don't.
somebody to prepare
That would be
a
terrible.
portion of it or all of it.
Terrible.
And they bail. It's
So,
awful.
Mr. and Mrs. Vandersleet, I probably said that wrong. I'm going to just skip their name. This couple, they were ready to meet each other at the altar for their wedding earlier this month, and unfortunately, the catering company was not so ready. Since the company thought the wedding was a week later than the actual date, they had no food prepared for the event. Wow, that's terrible planning. They should have all been in communication with each other. Anyway, in tears, the bride and groom went to a restaurant next door and begged them for help. The owner of the restaurant, it's called the Sonder Eatery in Hudsonville, Michigan, said there's no way I could turn down their desperate couple. He's like, I just couldn't say no. We had to help them. He and the staff proceeded to close down the restaurant for the
Holy
day
cow.
so they could go above and beyond and fix this wedding fiasco. In just 90 minutes, they put together a cocktail hour and wedding food for 150 people. They even made sure there was a vegetarian and vegan option for some of the guests, and others got to choose between beef and chicken. Needless to say, the couple was in awe of Saunders' kindness. They were able to get their money back from the original caterer, but they say that they don't know what they would have done if the compassionate staff had not stepped up
That
to
is
help.
amazing. And they
So,
closed the restaurant.
Yeah, that is really
That
cool.
is going way above and
It
beyond.
is. So it's sad to see somebody drop the ball, but it is so awesome to see somebody else step up and be a hero in the time of need like that.
Absolutely.
So I've got a link to the story if you want to read all about it. It's in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.